Hi all, welcome back. Red Storm, Dark Blue Defection Scenario 2, good old Uncle Sam. This is part 7, I think. Yeah, part 7. Yeah, I don't have an awful lot of time just now, but I thought I'd get this started because I've got lots of things to talk about again. I don't know if, yeah. I don't know if it's something I need to make the game going for myself. I just wonder if it's a bit boring for people. Like let's watch the next part, and Grant's just talking about his comments that he's going, whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's. I mean, I think I need to have these comments because I'm getting some things wrong and I'm not understanding some things fully. And yeah, it's nice to discuss them all. I think it works for me, and to be honest, that's the main purpose of this video. It might be helpful to others. That's great, but it is for my own enjoyment. And yeah, I get the main part of my enjoyment is getting everything right and making sure I'm, obviously you want to try and do well and get good results and win, but that bit's not as important to me. Figuring things out and doing things properly, that's where it gives me the satisfaction. Okay, anyway, right, I know I've went over these points, so I'm just going to quickly go over this is John Brown's comments again, and I think I just spoke about them yesterday. Sorry, I say yesterday. I think I just spoke about them on part 6. Yeah, which I've not quite uploaded yet, but anyway, you'll see that before you see this. Yeah, so I have spoke about them, but just there are a couple of things came to mind, and he's also commented on another couple of parts as well, which I don't think I've spoke about. Okay, go on, Mike Grant. So talking about the barrage zones, yeah, and he was talking about avoiding. When I'm talking about I'm pretty sure I've talked about these comments here, but I just want to bring this back again slightly, because he's talking about he would avoid this moving past this flak, and yeah, so he would avoid that. But however, then we found out this part in the AA actions table. Right, I thought I had that open, but where is it? AA action table. And then, this part that talks about... Sorry, I'm kind of like not very well organised just now. I probably should have left this till tomorrow, but I was replying to some of the comments there, and it takes up a bit of time, that as well, but I don't feel like I can ignore them. But then there was times there where I was like not commenting on them and just talking about them here, so I mean, should I do a bit of both? I feel it's a bit rude not to reply to the comments, So, fire on an enemy flight in range at earliest possible time during movement phase. Fair enough, I've got that bit. The next bit, ignore bot player flights. Now see this, I read this again and wondered, ignore bot player flights, and then it's got in brackets deconfliction applies at all altitudes, but this is in brackets here. It's as if this is like fire on enemy flight. It's as if you're ignoring the bot flights completely, but then this kind of tells you that you ignore them, because this is fire on any enemy flight in range. So if a bot flight moves into its own AAA barrage zone, then it is not an enemy flight, and this is saying that we would ignore them completely, because the deconfliction applies at all altitudes, and deconfliction was... should have had this already open. Friendly flights, including dummies that enter a hex at deck altitude, are not attacked by a friendly AA barrage unless they entered as a consequence of scatter or SAM avoidance. So again, scatter or SAM avoidance it looks like the only thing that would override this. Anyway, I'm just bringing it back there. I guess because I'm just not sure. And to me, it looks like whether John Brown's not, unless there's something that I'm not getting about this. It doesn't look like he's noticed this, but it's kind of tucked away in the bottom here, and also I even read it and didn't actually, until I actually looked at it again for about the third time, notice that this bit's saying at all altitudes. And I think that's when it suddenly went, oh, wait a minute, that's like, but I don't know if we're missing something here, but according to the comments I'm getting from John regarding this situation, isn't taking this into account, at least I don't think it is. Okay, move on. So I left a comment saying that I recently got pointed towards this, so I'm curious to know what his response will be to that, but what I've said to that is, I think that lets the bots completely ignore AAA friendly fire. That's what I'm kind of getting from that. However, maybe I've not got it right. I'm not going to go for that one again. I got a bit confused by the whole shutting down of the radar thing. I think my explanation to what the comment was before was a bit of a mess, but I think I've got that, but we might find out more as we go on. Right, here's a huge one, which John had to comment again about in a future part, which I'll get to, which basically because I wasn't grasping what he was saying, I think. And it took me a while after what he was saying, and then I thought, no, and then I realised that these little cards did not come with the game, remember? I mean, yeah, they're good, they're useful, but these are what this is. So that SA11 instruction there, right along that, has all the details are in here, or certainly all the details that are relevant. I'm pretty sure they're all in there. Every one of the numbers along there, I'm probably going to find every one of them, apart from, the notes at the end. Well, that's the notes, isn't it? I think, the bottom things. Anyway, this card was to avoid you having this, right? Now, when I initially looked at this chart, this table, if you recall, I was looking at this long range, and then I was realising that this 8 to 10 here was 8, 9, 10, and you'll notice that it's -1, -2, -3 or at deck level there. And I thought, well, is that taking that into account? Because these got a -1 for each long range, so -1 for 8, -2 for 9, -3 for 10. Well, look, -1, -2, -3, and I think I pointed this out initially and was wondering about that. But then I came to the conclusion that no, because this chart, these modifiers want two different things here. They want an altitude modifier and they want a long range per hex modifier. So when John posted this, and what he said this was his first comment, the altitude modifiers are figured into the card. The only things you have to add are the last three modifiers if they apply. And I must have just I must have just went right over the top of my head. Because what he's meaning here is it's only these three modifiers, the last three. Why I never picked up on that, I don't know. I think maybe because I wasn't grasping things here. So it's only these three. These two are built into the card. So if I look at that card and I see that we're at low altitude and the range is 9, then it's a -1. That's all we're going to get. So I may need to check the two occasions that we've had the SC11 try to fire. I think I've counted the modifiers wrong because I've added what I've done is for 10 range at deck level, shall we say, is a -3, and then I've also added another -3. Something like that. I've done something like that. Whereas it's not. That's all built into the card. And this is what he's telling me. So I've replied to that, and I think now it's clicked with me. But even yesterday when I spoke about this, I hadn't grasped it. I hadn't grasped it at all. And it's only when I seen his second comment about it, which I'll get to. I'll try and browse through it quickly, okay? Yeah, fair enough. Right, so moving on. Infrared SAMs can fire at undetected flights. Yeah, I talked about this all yesterday. 15.44. No, Grant, stop going into that. Because we've spoke about these and you've got enough other things to speak about. Basically, my reply was that, yeah, I found an answer to a BGG question. And although I don't see it written 15.44 that you can do it, it doesn't say that you can't do it. I think I've been through that anyway. I think you're making more of what you need to be making here. Yeah, I don't need to read that. Yeah, okay, I've done all that. I'll pause just now. Right, so this is comments from part 4. And John Brown again. However, one comment from Bill Durant. Simultaneously, Grant, simultaneously. The word that you all knew, I'm sure, when I was talking about do these happen all together, and I just couldn't find the word. Thanks very much, Bill. You know what? I'd replied to you yesterday, and I was thinking about it today at work again. Do you think I could remember the word? I was like, no, I can't remember it again. So I had to actually come home and open up your comment again and look and check what it was. So good stuff. We've got that. And we're about to find out that they don't actually happen simultaneously. But good to know, and John does point me to the rule, which I'll get to in a second. Well, actually, no, we're right at that. There you go. So he says the sequence for individual moves are spend the movement point, resolve any AA attacks, resolve any SAM attacks, then conduct air-to-ground, air-to-air combat, or start a bomb recon run, or conduct recon. The best place this is shown is 3.3 during flight movement. And indeed it is. And it's funny how a lot of these rules, I've always said when I've been doing these games, a lot of these rules right at the beginning of the book, you know, you're scratching your head for ages, wondering how to go about it, and you go back and it's like page 2 or 3, well, this is page 6, but it's a big rule book, so it's very much near the beginning. So the sequence of events during a flight's movements are as follows. Set throttle and declare speed. Spend movement point. Then AAA and SAM attacks, and in that order, resolve AA attacks before resolving any SAM attacks. Then flight attacks and combat. After all AAA and SAM attacks are resolved against a flight in a hex, the movement player may then start a bomb run. So I did do it in that way, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if these were done simultaneously, and they're not. So we do all that in that order. So we could then, I suppose you could go into, and John also carries on with, well, that's, you know what, it's further on. Can I not just add that just now? Yeah, he said, if after the bombing run was started, any SAM attack result is a possible hit, you would apply the SAM attack possible hit modifier. Right, I get that. I guess I kind of thought that if it was a possible hit, could it then become a hit? Because you sure have to check all these things. But I think it kind of like hit me, and then I said, well, okay, you might actually be hit, but what they want to know was there a possible hit at that moment? And you would then fill in that and say, yes, there was. So he also adds here, though, which is interesting, which I would have looked in it and hopefully found it. He says, note that a SAM avoid result during a bombing run will cancel the bombing run. So 17.2 is linked to that rule. Give me a sec. Right, there you go, 17.2 bomb runs, page 31, in that last paragraph. During a bomb run, if a flight is marked with a BVR avoid or SAM avoid marker, or is forced to turn, oh yeah, that's right, because it can't turn, change altitude for any reason. Now, did I do that? No, I didn't do any of that, did I? I seem to remember changing altitude. That was just with that Cobra flight. That was after the attack, wasn't it? But I mean, I was just moving the heads. I wasn't. But I mean, that's saying if you were forced to do any of these things, which you might. I think. Aye, there it says it there. SAM avoidance or scatter. The bomb run is cancelled. So good one to point out. Also note that a SAM damage result does not put a SAM avoid marker on, and thus does not cancel the bombing run. So if we ended up with a SAM avoid marker, then that's fine. You can still carry on, but something you've got to be aware of. If these things happen, then that's your bombing run over, isn't it? So yeah. So anyway, we did do the bombing run correctly. The only thing I will need to check, although we did say, because I was getting these numbers wrong on the SAM card, he did say that first one, it was the same result, but since then, did we not have another attempt? No. Yeah, we did. Oh, hold on. Sorry. It was when I done this one, didn't I? Because we're at range 2. So again, I must have gave it a modifier a bit worse for it than what it should have got. Yeah, we were at range 2 and we were at low. I gave it a -1. I also gave it another -1 because I thought that got added onto it, and that wasn't the case. However, we did do, and this will be in part 6, which, like I say, I haven't watched through yet, so I'll check that when I watch through it, and I'll add some comments there, because twice this attempts to fire, doesn't it? And I'm kind of hoping I got all that right as well, because I moved again, didn't I? I moved, and then I moved again, and every movement point that you're moving within range, I would say, gives that a chance to actually see if it's going to attack. So I'll look back on that. That's fine. So he brings up the flights at deck are ignored by friendly flak unless they enter the barrage zone via scatter or SAM avoidance. 14.74. This is the provision to avoid firing at landing flights. Okay, so if they're at deck, they're ignored. So I'm not 100% sure I've got this cleared up, so I had to ask a follow-up question here. So I've said, yeah, I've got that now, though see my previous reply regarding the wording on the AA action table, and let me know your thoughts. And that's the one where it says that bot flights ignore, like, it doesn't matter what altitude they're at, they're going to ignore their AA. So John carries on with this. Otherwise, you should make a barrage roll. Enemy flights are never ignored by printed flak, though some scenarios will close deactivate airfield flak. That said, I don't believe DBD2 has any closed airfields. I believe the bot keeps located flak barrage active, but I'm not finding where that is in the rules. Yeah, admittedly, I didn't find there wasn't anything about the actual AA flak in the special scenario rules or anything. But my question that I've sort of followed this up with, so I've said, so to be completely clear, any NATO flight that moves through any AAA barrage zone, whether printed on the map or a counter on the map, and whether friendly or enemy, at any altitude above deck must make a barrage roll, ? And then I've also added, and it looks like your interpretation of this would be the same for Warsaw Pack flights. However, after seeing the wording on the AA action table, is this still your interpretation? ? So, and what I'm meaning by that is that I was saying that these are AA, light AA, and they'll have a barrage zone, right? And they're hexing right round about them. Now, I completely ignored them at first, but from the rules that talks about AAA, it says it doesn't. It doesn't. What's the word? It doesn't pick. It doesn't matter if it's enemy or friendly flights. It'll still fire at them. So, but this is where Jonas says if they're at deck level, then they can land, obviously. So they're not going to be fired about when they're landing. But basically, I'm saying if this guy's at low altitude, if he was to move into one of these two hexes here, well, in fact, his next port of call was going to be in this hex. So does that mean he's got to take the AAA fire from that unless I drop him to deck altitude? So that's what I'm asking, because I wasn't 100% clear if he was meaning, all of these, or if he was just meaning these would hit enemy, these would hit Warsaw Pact, but they wouldn't target NATO. But I get the feeling that, this would fire unless you were at deck level. But I'm not 100% sure. So, kind of hoping they'll come back and clarify that before I get to doing it, and it probably will happen before I get to doing it here anyway. And then his next one is about the data cards, and I didn't get it. I've got it now, and I need to look back on the attacks that the SA-11 had attempted back in part 6 to see if that might be ended in a different result. I get the feeling it wasn't, because we rolled pretty poorly, I think. But anyway, so I've done the SAM bit. So yeah, this is quite interesting as well. He says if you conduct a SAM attack, mark the SAM with a SAM launch marker, which I did. And he says they do mean something, since a given SAM can only fire once per turn, so it essentially serves as a marker that the SAM cannot fire again. So fair enough. And I think initially I wasn't 100% clear if it had fired a missile. I think that's what I was starting to think. And then I've left it on here when it's heavily damaged, so I'm not sure if it needs to be there still, because it can't fire again anyway. But anyways, and it carries on, and B, radar SAMs have to roll acquisition against the same flight that they attacked during the SAM acquisition phase, assuming the flight is still acquired. So if it's got a SAM launch marker on it, does that give a poor modifier then? No. Right, I'm not sure how that's... Radar SAMs have to roll acquisition against the same flight that they attacked during the SAM acquisition phase, assuming the flight is still acquired. Okay, I'm not sure what he's referring to there, because it doesn't look like there's any modifier that affects having a SAM launch marker. I'm maybe just not quite picking you up there, John. No, I'm not sure. But anyway, it must mean something by that. I'm just not quite grabbing it. Let me know if you can hear me scratching my head about that one. Okay, and this is at 1 hour and 4 minutes. This was me talking about how I was going to distribute my missiles, and they're saying, we can just fire 2 AOGMs here, 2 AOGMs here, take them both out, and then we've got 4 Shrikes for here. He says the fly in that ointment is if the Shrike only causes the SA-11 to shut down, when assuming the SAM is okay, you could use EOGMs to attack it. So if I have no EOGMs left, so I've not read fully into the maybe the worst case about that, or does that mean if it's shut down I can't fire it again with the Shrikes, or I'm not sure. I need to look into that one. But But he also brings up this point, and I knew this one, and then I'd forgot about it. He says this also seems to be a good time to insert a reminder that a flight armed only with strikes is not considered laden, and does not have to jettison strikes when called to jettison other ordnance. So once you fire both ELGM shots, Vegas flight is considered clean. So that is the case now, and Vegas flight is a clean flight. So it's obviously got a better speed. And I did remember reading that about the Shrikes. They're not classed as air-to-ground weapons in that case. And finally, he says the damage type and marker you should use is heavy. And then he describes the VP points, which I looked through and had to put two and two together and said it must be heavy because that chart tells you that. I've said that I think that could have been clearer. Why did it not just say heavy damage and rather than just say the word damage? But I've also added that it might just be a grand toss thing. It's just the way my mind works sometimes. Anyway, so thanks for all them, John. Sorry you had to repeat yourself on a couple of them. That one on the SAM card in particular. And thanks, Bill, simultaneously. Yeah, got it. I'll forget though. Okay, and then finally, there's not much more to go. Howard made a comment saying that he uses dice for movement point tracking. And he uses move counters from SPQR to mark flights that have moved, usually at the top of the alt marker. The altitude marker. Otherwise, always forget, as he gets regularly interrupted by two kids. But yeah, as I've said, I'm going to start using, I started using the dice. It's sometimes a bit cumbersome, I think, because you want to keep moving, and then you feel like you've moved one, you should then go and turn the dice, and then it disrupts you that way. But I think it's better doing it that way than missing it out. And then I'm going to put the wee blue cubes to say that they've been moved to keep myself right. Okay, and then just one comment for John, but he mustn't have read, because I did have this in the header. He said pull off has +1 aggression, so with a -1 for the shot down aircraft, your DRM is 0. I believe this puts them on the 0 jettison line, which is essentially no effect. Yeah, and I said I had that in the header. I got that one. So that's us all up to date, I think. I think it is. Okay, I just went to thought I'd better check what happened with this, the SA-11, when it was trying to fire at its acquired target. And just look back in the video, and I'm pretty sure it looks like it done the long range check at 9 hexes. Done the long range check when it reached 10 hexes, and it failed. It said it wouldn't attack. It's an odd and an even roll. And then it done the check when I moved that further hex to 9, and it failed again. So I kind of got lucky there, because I would have been counting up these numbers slightly wrong if it came to it. And I'm going to assume that John, pretty sure he said that when we done the attack with us, it would still ended up being a miss, I think. Because I think it was only one extra -1 that added that shouldn't have been there, I think. So I think we're good. The only thing that is now in doubt is I'm pretty sure this flight came through this area, and I'd like to be moving Vegas through this. However, you know what? I'm actually better coming right through this. Yeah, I'm actually better, because if I go into there, I've got to take a check there. Well, unless you drop to low altitude, Grant. Deck altitude. I could do that, couldn't I? Now, see when right, here's a question then that I'll just put, although I might need to know if you're going to do that. What I'm thinking is, no, I'm not going to be able to do that. If I move into that hex and drop free, they've dropped the free altitude level. Would I still need to check? Yeah. That seems like something that I just don't think I would be able to find an answer to. But it's something that the likes of John probably knows. I guess when I'm moving into the hex, I mean, am I in the hex at low still, or? I think I'm rather than try and work all that out, I think I'm maybe allow myself that one. To be honest, I maybe should really try and hold off until we actually find out if these do actually fire on us. But I got the impression that the way John answered the question, it was a case of yeah, unless they're at deck level. Has there been any other issues? Well, I can't really do nothing about this one now. I've came through there. We're just going to have to accept that if that should have fired at us, well, would I not have skirted round about it? Shall we say that might not mean I'm as far along, mind you. I can't really go back and fix that, can I? But I think that's only one. I think that's only one that would have went through. And going by what I've read on that AAA table, then any of the Warsaw Pact flights would not be affected by their own flak. However, they will. Well, they would if that was, what was it again? 17. I want to say it's 17 point something. No, it's not. It's 14 point something, isn't it? A deconfliction. Unless they entered as a consequence of scatter or SAM avoidance. Friendly flights that enter a hex at deck altitude are not attacked. But what that would say for the bot is friendly flights that enter a hex at any altitude are not attacked by friend. In fact, they just skip the altitude part. Friendly flights that enter a hex are not attacked by a friendly AAA barrage unless they entered as a consequence of scatter or SAM avoidance. So that's going to be my take on it. I'm curious to see what John might come back and say about that. And it could be that I'm missing something. However, though, I don't think we've went through any. But that does mean to me that this guy, this pull-off can come right up, right past this. He doesn't need to worry about that at all. Now, he does need to worry about these. If he was to go anywhere near these. So he would try and avoid them. Unless maybe John's only replied to the fact of them. I don't know, he didn't seem to mention it in a way that it was any. He did say deck level, didn't he? So, right, we'll find out that one. So I don't think anything's happened with any of the Warsaw Pact flights either. There was nothing to check. This is the only guy that I think we've moved through. So let's just all I can do is let's just assume we either came around, avoided it, or I think it's quite a low risk, isn't it? Well, here we go. Let's just say we came through at a deck level. That probably would have kept us in the same bit, wouldn't it? Because we're at low. I think what did I not do at first? I brought these guys up to medium altitude because I made a mistake thinking I was going to be able to. What was it? I was mixing weapons about, wasn't I? I was getting muddled up with weapons. I'm pretty sure he could have stayed at deck altitude going through Fritzlar. Okay? So, we'll go with that. And, let's see. So, where are we then? We're only at 34 minutes, so I can get something started here. And again, I'll hopefully put some comments in the header saying that there's a lot of stuff that some people, I don't know if everybody likes to hear about all the comments and find it. To me, it's important to, so I'm understanding things. But right, okay, Grant, stop going on about it. Right, so sequence of play. Well, we're going to check for an event, aren't we? Right, let's just push on a little bit, see if I can get another part to do that. I didn't think I was going to have the time, but things have settled in the house, so let's just go with it and see how we go on. So we're going to roll for event. This is turn 4. I did move the dice onto a 4, so that's where we're at. I'm not sure what my plans are here anyway, so let's roll 2 dice and check for the event anyway. I've rolled 11. Ooh, it's 9 and 10 is that nasty one, isn't it? So 11. Right, where are the events? Right, hang on. Right, I looked at the DBD first, and 11 is one of the events to avoid anyway, so it's NATO QRA, which I can't quite find. These charts have all been moved about. Right, there we are. NATO QRA, if there's a detected Warsaw Pact fight on the NATO side of the... You know what, it's quite a big event instruction, so we've to ignore it anyway. Let's just go with that. Save us a bit of time. So jamming phase, there's none of that. Detection phase, right, let's do some of that. So let's check the NATO flights. There's 2 of them that are undetected. So we're going to roll, so find the correct player aid. Detection level of the Warsaw Pact is C. Are any of them at deck level? No. Low and mid jump. So that would be the only modifier. So no modifiers. On the C column, they need a 12 or greater. So let's check Cobra first. He's rolled 14, so Cobra is detected. That's not so good, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, he's not in range though. Pulov's not in range yet. Anyway, in Vegas as well, checking on a 12 or greater. That's 15 as well, so both of them, yuck. Both of them detected. Right, over to... yeah, both there. Pull-off down here is detected. These 2 got undetected. So now we need none of them are at deck level either, no. So no modifiers, we're on the D column, so we need a 13 or greater. So let's check the A flight first. 17. Big numbers. So he is detected. And then the B flight, again, 13 or greater. Oh, 12. Damn. It was 13, wasn't it? Yeah. So he stays down, he stays undetected. Okay. And that's the... oh, wait now. We've got... actually, well, all our flights are detected now, because I was going to say that Pulov now, he can actually do radar. He could have done a radar detection. He's no longer a generic flight, remember, but all NATO flights are detected. So the only flight that's not detected on the map actually is flight B up there. Who's closest to that? The F-16 has got a... oh, it's exactly the same as the F-15. It's got the TS as well, the track well scan. And yeah, we're going to have a go at that, because he will be in the front. Yeah, I think we can check this. Aircraft radar searches. Range to target. Well, it'd be 14 or greater hexes. So it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hexes away. If it was 14, and its total range is 16. Sorry, I know I'm not showing you the card, but let's bring the card down. Right, its total range is 16, and it's a wee black box there. It's got look down, LD, so there's no restrictions. It's got TS, which means trackball scan, which means it gets 2 shots at that. And then the 16 is its full range, and if it was 14 or greater, they would get a -1. So it's not getting a -1 for that. Targeting different altitude band would give a -1. Yeah, we are low against high. So there's a -1 there. Target at deck, no. Target at deck, no. Searching flight and beam arc of target. That's the case, isn't it? Because we're in these either front or rear beam. Searching flight and beam arc of target. Yeah, as. So there's a we're getting a -3 to this roll then. And F-16, well, it needs a 10. It's got a good detection. 10 or greater. However, we've got a -3. We are getting 2 shots of this over the trackball scan. After that, can somebody else try and do it? Or no? There's only one attempt. Well, there's only one attempt by it, but because it's got a trackball scan, it can try it twice. I think that's it. So we need a 10 or greater, but we've got a -3. Okay, here's the first roll. I rolled 7, -3, 4. That's not going to cut it. Let's try that again. 6, -3 is 3. That was terrible. Right, so that flight B is kind of determined it's staying where it is, I think. I'll put that card back up there just now. Okay, so I think that's all the searching. Yeah. Okay. So movement phase. So now we are rolling to determine initiative. I'm going to roll 1 dice. A 1 to 6, it's NATO. I've rolled a 4. So it is going to be NATO's initiative. So I'll just roll a chat and we'll see what we get. Oh, great. So it's a 0. I don't know if you can see it there or not. It's just in the bottom of the... Well, it's a 0 anyway. So we're not, after rolling for the initiative and getting it, we're getting initiative of 0. So it's back over to Warsaw Pact. And let's see what they get then. Maybe just as well they are going first, because I'm not sure about this Vegas flight. Right, what we got? Well, it's a 4 on the large side, so it's going to be something. So 2. So 2 out of their 3 flights is going to activate. I'm going to leave the card in there. I know I was chucking it back in the cup, but I'm just going to put it there. Okay, so 2, we need to play red card 5. So we randomly select. We still need to randomly select, even though we've got a real flight here and 2 generic flights. I think we still need to roll first. Real block flights in the suit move first. Yeah. So we do need to roll. So we're rolling 1 dice. Well, actually, we just need to odd or even this, because we've got 2 diamonds there and a heart. So the diamonds are odd. Diamonds are odd. We've rolled even. So it is going to be the heart. So it is going to be a pull off. Okay. Right then. So what does he do? Well, he's active now, but he's still not within 7 hexes, is he? So he's just going to carry on, isn't he? Now, hang on, he's got a BVR avoid marker. Okay. So something else is going to happen. Okay, I'm not sure I looked at this properly before. I was getting a bit muddled up. I remember talking about, there's a big green arrow here to bring it across. And then, but after this, I've just noticed, and did I notice this before? I don't know. It says, you do this first. If any of these conditions apply, in order, move as follows. So you would do that in order, and then I think you would just follow down here to see what was what. Now we've got a BVR avoid marker, so we're going to set combat throttle, spend a movement point to remove the BVR avoid. Then what are we going to do? You think, well, you don't know. So you come down here, follow, and if there's anything else, I think there's nothing. If flight is crippled, aborted, disorder, or Winchester, finish movement and stop here. However, it said, if flight performed SAM avoidance or performed anti-radar tactics, go to non-combat actions, which is a place that we don't go, is it? Otherwise, go to combat actions. Then I thought, well, where is combat actions? You know, I was like, that's engagement actions, non-combat actions. Yeah, and it's actually this, isn't it? Bot flight actions, combat actions. So we would go here and then come across to here and check that if there was an enemy flight within 7 hexes. We don't need to do the rolling of the dice, because if there is one, we go engagement actions and we don't do that. So I think that's what happens. And that, oops, sorry. I didn't drop right down. Yeah, we'll get there, no doubt. So I think that's how we do this one. Because there's not one with 7 hexes, even though he's activated. I think that's right. Yeah, I'm going to go with that, I think. Because there's no detected flight within 7 hexes. So pull off is the flight we're moving. He's going to set combat throttle. Now pull off, now we know, because he's not, remember, we don't follow the fish bed anymore because he's now activated. So his flight at low, he's at a low altitude, the combat throttle at low altitude, his speed is a 4. Yeah. So he's going to spend one of the 4 movement points, because he has to remove that to start with. Right? So that's what he's done there. I'll just put that down there actually. And then there's no other things that apply. He's not got a SAM avoid marker, he's not acquired, he's not damaged. If all aircraft in flight are damaged, flight aborts. No, he's got 1 aircraft crippled, there's nothing crippled, aborted. Sorry, I maybe should show you what I'm looking at here. I did have a, I've done that, and I'm going through these, I think. And then I'm coming at the bottom, this isn't the case, this isn't the case. Otherwise, go to combat actions, come across here. Is there a flight within 7 hexes? No, there's not. So we just follow the DBD. They're basically just following his flight path again. Okay, so I think that's right. So now he's going up the yellow path. He's at low altitude, so he's fine over the mountains there. So he's got 3 more movement points. So I'm going to, I was watching myself back in part 5, and I could have moved this flight, I think, into here. I mind you, is that the one I backtracked because I used an extra movement point? I think it may have been, actually. But I just feel like I should get as close to that line as possible. It doesn't, mind you, it does say within 1 hex. It's just I feel like if I get 1 hex closer, I might be... Oh, no, you should carry on the way you've done it, Grant. But I don't mind going up this path now, because I now know, well, you're saying you know. What if John comes back and tells you that, that doesn't mean that, Grant? Right, let's just do it the way we were going to do it then. So that's 1 movement. We've got 2 left, but we're going to also free turn 60 degrees there. Oh, hang on, he's going to check for altitude as well, isn't he? So he's at low altitude, and he's moved adjacent to a flight, a waypoint. So we're going to roll and check for the altitude possible change. can't remember what it is again. Is that right? He is in the yellow flight path, yeah. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to roll on that. We've got a 5. Descend 1 altitude band is a free move. What is that? Whoa. That's going to be a deck in the mountains. Can he do that while he's over the mountains? Don't think he can he? Yeah, I read this one before. 6.34 mountain terrain flights already at deck altitude may not enter mountain hexes. Exception, flights with terrain following radar and helicopters. If already at deck altitude and forced to enter a mountain. Flights already at deck altitude may not enter mountain. So I can't descend to deck then, can I? Unless I've got, what is it? Terrain following radar. No, don't think so. It would be in the notes at the bottom, I was thinking. Yeah, because there, look, our F-16's got it up the top there. Terrain following radar. But it doesn't say it on the MiG-29 card, so... Yeah, so you obviously can't be a deck over the mountains. Yeah, okay, so I'm not going to drop that point. So yeah, we've still got 2 movement points to go, so we're just going to carry on 1, 2, and we're at low altitude. I suppose something feels a little strange at this because we can see what's going on over there and that. I mean, the bot it keeps things simple-ish, I suppose. I mean, it's going to react next turn, isn't it? I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, we're within 7 now. And nobody's mentioned to me otherwise. I know I was saying about as soon as it reaches 7, should it not sort of do something? But you can't really do that, can you? Because it's going to be the start of your move, surely. Okay, I think that's that. It does mean that Cobra's possibly able to have another. Oh no, he run at his missiles, didn't he? Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's Pulov done his thing, but you would think definitely next turn he's going to react, and something's going to get fired upon, I think. So, however, Vegas does have. Yeah, he does have missiles, doesn't he? Yeah, he's got 952. Well, that would be a range of 5 though. I don't think he's got that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's 6, because that would be from the beam, I think. Okay, well that's only one of the Warsaw Pact flights moved, so we'll need to find out what the other one is going to be. Well, it's going to be A, isn't it? Because they're both diamonds up there. So it's going to be A flight at medium altitude. And, well, they're not activated. They're not activated yet, anyway. Both flights. Attempts to engage. It receives an attempt. Is attacked by. Yeah, it doesn't. It attempts to engage and or successfully engage. Ah, yeah. Stop, Grant. Hang on. He's within 7. Is he not? 1, 2. Oh no, he's not. See. So both them are. Yeah, I was forgetting. Just because they're generic flights. It's still within 7, so he could. Well, what I mean is, he could look at the engagement actions, I think, and he could either attempt BVR or attempt standard air-to-air. Yeah, because we've not really delved into an awful lot of that, to be honest. It's not really came up much, even in that, the first scenario there wasn't an awful lot of that. Okay, so he's not within 7, and he's not got any of the issues. You know, he's not got any markers on him, anything like that. So I think he's just going to carry on down his towards his next waypoint. So, no, hang on. He is still just a generic, clean MiG-21, isn't he? And he's at medium, so he's got four movement points too. So I'm not going to need a dice because we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and that's him done his thing. Okay, well that's Warsaw Pact had their move. I'm at 56 minutes. I probably should stop, to be honest. I didn't think I was going to get as much of as far as this, to be honest. I thought I was just going to get my comments started and yeah, I think I will. I think I'll just cut the part there. I know there's not an awful lot. It's always going to be just a slow process, and it's NATO's turn next. And you can see that these are 2 Warsaw Pact flights. They've got 1 still to go, but we need to draw initiative chat. Well, unless actually, if I draw the chit and it happens to be a 0, let's just draw the chit, then we can see. We can leave that there. Because if it happens to be the 0, which it could be, 2 for the large, no, it's 1. Okay. So we've got 1, it's our turn next, and we've got 1 initiative. So we'll get to move one of ours. Because I'm just still wanting to know about this AAA situation. On saying that, probably wanting this guy to maybe fire here. There's maybe need to think about it a little bit now. Because Vegas could turn and come and try and take it. I mean, there's only 1 aircraft left in pull off. We'd get points for shooting it down, mind you, but I mean, Vegas is still, he's still on a mission with Shrikes to try and take this out, and he's not the one that's acquired, remember, so maybe he should be more concentrating on the SAM, Yeah, probably. Okay, I'll cut it for now, and again, I'll put a little comment in the header about this. It's half the video's talking about comments that have come up and things of that sorts. Alright, but I'll be back with the next part. I probably won't get back for a little bit now. I think things are going to tie me up for the next few days. So maybe over the weekend I might get another shot. Okay, I'll be back soon anyway. Cheers.